Life is full of work and stress. Parenting can be a mess. Being a woman is hard enough without adding on that extra stuff. We'll cover topics of every kind. Helpful resources we will find. We'll even drink a bottle of wine. Join us. It will be a real good time.
Hi, I'm Amanda,
And I'm Nikki,
and welcome to Working Mom's Wine, where we drink a bottle of wine
and whine about our crazy, busy, stressful working mom lives while trying to come up with entertaining things, helpful things, resources along the way.
We were doing some Christmas decorating tonight, and so I have my wine mixed in with some mulled cider. Very festive tonight.
Ooh. I remember that mug. I think I gave that to your hubby.
hmm I also have. So what happened was I made a cider drink for everybody, and I thought I'll pour wine in mine before we get started. Um, but Jack didn't want to drink his, so I have his and mine. But today we're going to whine about the flu because it's stupid and it
Mm-hmm.
almost ruined our vacation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where did we go, you might
We just
ask?
got back from Disney World, where we were
The most magical place on earth.
VIPs.
Mm-hmm.
It was fabulous. It
We
was
had
the
to live it up
best
large for
turning
Nikki's
40 birthday
birthday.
ever. That's right. Gotta do it big for the big 4-0.
That's right.
Shout out to Tommy.
We miss you, Tommy. We especially missed you on like day 3 when we were standing in lines. No.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um, we're dealing with lag again, so if anything's weird, that's why. The flu is stupid, and no matter what you
Mm-hmm.
think about vaccines, um, even if you do get a flu vaccine, it only covers some of the strains, not all of them. And they kind of just, from what I understand, I'm not a scientist or a doctor, so don't come at me. They hazard a guess as to which flu strains are going to be the worst, and those are the ones that go in the vaccine. And sometimes they're right and sometimes they're not. But whether or not you get vaccinated, all of that to say, you do always have a chance of getting the flu. And
mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's what we had before the vacation. It was a really weird situation because we had one kid get sick the Saturday before we left. So he had like 4 days to get over it before we even got in the car. And it looked like he was getting over it. But then by the time we got back in the
Mm-hmm.
car, or in the car, he was back to like sleeping all day and a fever. And a couple of the kids ended up with bloody noses. A couple people ended up making like bathroom trips for a day, things like that. Um, but it seemed that everybody on my end had kicked it symptom wise by the time we actually spent our first day in the parks, which of course was the day that I got it. So
And the day of our
on
big
VIP
VIP
tour day,
tour.
I ended up taking quite a few bathroom breaks, but it still turned out pretty cool. And then, of course, poor Ari got it on the way home.
It was honestly a good day for you to get it because you could leave the line and then kind of rejoin us a couple times, not miss out on as
Yes.
much as you would have. But yes,
Yeah.
poor Ari, we check out of the hotel. We had to hang out in the hotel lobby for several hours before our flight. And as time went on, she got worse and worse. And I felt horrible, but there's
Yeah.
nothing we could do. There were no flights to like postpone. There was no hotel room to stay in if we didn't get on the plane. And honestly, I thought it might be something else because she didn't have any symptoms except feeling tired and getting warmer throughout the day, like feeling
hmm
hotter. And I didn't have a thermometer to like know. But, gave her some children's Tylenol and said, we just got to push through this and get home and we'll see how you feel tomorrow. And, you spend all this time in the parks and you think, oh, they're tired. They're just
Yeah.
overstimulated. She wasn't like
Right.
throwing up or running to the bathroom or anything like that. No sniffles, no cough, no, just felt warm and was really tired and didn't want to go to Disney
Yeah.
Springs, which had been my plan for the day. So we just hung out in the lobby where they have that little TV and they play the movies and cartoons, and hung
Yeah.
out until it's time to get on the bus. And but by the time we got on the bus and we're driving to the airport, she was miserable. I felt so bad.
Yeah.
But we got home.
Yeah, that
She
stinks.
slept a whole day, and we were like, this is getting worse. And the fever got really high. So we went to the pediatrician on Monday, and she was like, you have flu A. And I was like, oh
Yay.
no. We just were gone for a whole week of school. Now she's going to miss a whole second week because the doctor said this one lasts 6 to 7 days as far as the fever.
Yep.
And, they have to be fever free for 24 hours before they can go back to school. And then I thought, this is also like the absolute worst 2 weeks for me to get sick at work. So, of course,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's coming for me. I've been pre-gaming my immune system since November 1st, taking zinc, emergency, and rotating in and out oil of oregano, trying to help me not be an old person who goes to Disney and gets sick every time because kids and germs, right?
Yeah. Right.
And so maybe it has helped me here. So far, fingers crossed and knocking on all the wood I can, I have not had
Yeah.
symptoms, and she's been sick for, let's see, 5 days. Typically, after
Well,
exposure, you show it like within 48 hours. So
yeah.
maybe.
And on my end, before we left, I was taking the Protect strips that Bellamy has, and it has things like elderberry and zinc and stuff in it. And then I took elderberry syrup. I started giving it to all the kids, even though they were like already sick. I was just like, whatever. I went that entire week before I got anything. And then there was the day where I had the bathroom issues. And then the next day we went to Universal, and I felt great at Universal all day long until the very end of the day. We were getting a late dinner, and then we were going to
Yeah.
do some. We hadn't seen like the Donkey Kong area, and then we wanted to do some shopping. Um, but when we sat down to the dinner, in between like ordering the food and it coming out, it just like hit me like a wall of bricks. It was ridiculous. I was like super duper tired. I think I felt like I was having a fever. I don't quite remember, but I was just like knocked out and I didn't want to eat nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
after that, like the days following that, it was like I was back to normal. And right now I have a lot of congestion, to the point where like when I wake up in the morning, my throat does hurt a little bit and I'm like worried that I'm going to be hit hard again. But that hasn't happened. And Brandon said something about being jealous of my immune system. So I'm wondering if that stuff like helped it not be as severe. Like, yeah, it's still going on
Yeah.
in the background, but like maybe it's just not hitting me as hard.
Yeah. I've had a few of the symptoms kind of lightly, but nothing like super intense. And I thought, I wonder if that was me
Hmm.
getting it, or if
Right.
it's just coming for me. And I
The
just don't
only
know
the
it
only
yet.
other Yeah, and the only other possibility is maybe it's a slow burn and for like a week you feel like not the best and then you get your like week of fever. We'll find out.
It's possible.
Tune in next time. The flu is
The
stupid.
flu is stupid. Poor Ari's been struggling mostly at night.
Yeah.
And so it's just been, staying up late, waking up throughout the night, dealing with all of it.
So here's an interesting thing to look up. So they all, like Jack, Silas, and Ari, all ended up with bloody noses.
Yeah, and Ari had, like, she gets some from the cold weather sometimes. It was a pretty big one that came on suddenly in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, there was blood all over that white Minnie Mouse t shirt, and I got it all out.
Good job. I'm not that lucky. He definitely, his Spider-Man sheets they've got a stain for sure.
Oh,
It
peroxide
says
to
it
the
does not.
rescue.
Oh, I'll do that if it's not too late. It says it's common, but not like something that will 100% happen.
We got out a humidifier, and the pediatrician said you can actually put Vaseline on a Q-tip and kind of rub it up there to
I
help
thought
keep
you were
things
gonna say that
moist.
she told you to put it in the humidifier.
No.
I
Although
was like,
I do
oh,
have a
okay.
humidifier that was made by the Vaseline company, and there is a spot where you can put, it's like Vaseline scented stuff that you can buy to like put in there. So like the medicated scent or whatever goes through the room.
Why?
I never did it, but it wasn't Vaseline. It was vapor rub.
Vapor rub. I'm one of those crazy people that like they're always like, don't put peppermint oil on you. I will put it up in my nose because it clears it right up.
Yeah.
Don't do what I do, kids.
That stuff is hard because some of those things are just because they have to CYA, but others
Sure.
are vitally important. Like oil of oregano will burn you if you don't have it in a carrier oil or digested the correct way. So it's like,
I think with peppermint though, there's different levels of
hard.
sensitivity.
That's true.
Like I have a friend who can't stand to put it on her skin.
The quality of the oil you're using too. You know, the stuff at Walmart, true. I would never just slap that on my skin. So what I do is first I make a grocery delivery order, and I pay the extra money to have it delivered because I'm a kind person who doesn't want to get everybody else sick, and I try my very best.
Yeah.
Once Ari is sick, we are just home, both of us, that's it.
Yeah.
So I order grocery delivery, and I buy all the things I think she's going to need, and then all the things that I will need, because push comes to shove, I usually get it after her because she likes to snuggle when she's sick. She sleeps in my bed. It's bound to happen. Could I force her into her room and like, sure, but it just feels mean. It's not how we do it.
Right.
So, no offense to anyone who does that. Quarantining is smart. It is smarter than what I do, but it's just not my style.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing: if someone who does quarantine, it's usually pointless because the germs are already around anyway by the time people are showing symptoms.
That's a good point. So I do the big grocery order, all warm, soft foods or just soft foods. So instant mashed potatoes, Jell-O, yogurt, mac and cheese, and not the kind that you have to actually cook, but the one where you just put water in the disposable bowl and heat it up and pour the cheese in. Because when I'm sick, I have no energy. And Ari is not yet old and independent enough to cook meals for us and things like that. So if I were to get sick, I need to be able to hobble into the kitchen and heat something up. Lots of Gatorade. I buy Theraflu for myself. That stuff you dissolve into water. That stuff is great. I used to do Dayquil and NyQuil, but I didn't really like that one as much last time. I stuck with Theraflu. I think there's something about the warm drink that I just like better. Buy all the medicine. Make sure you have children's. Yeah. Make sure you have children's ibuprofen and Tylenol so you can rotate it every 3 hours if you have to. And then I get a Midwest kids from the 80s and 90s. I got a big plastic bowl from my Tupperware cabinet to have handy, and Kleenex and a humidifier and lots of screen time.
That's a time where screen time is definitely like, you can have all you want.
That's right. Especially when mommy still has to work.
Something
Those are the only
that really
tips
came
I
in
have.
clutch for us was the saline nose spray. Smart mom that I am, with everybody seeming to be coming out of whatever. I'm assuming we had flu since that's what Ari ended up with. But I was like, oh, everybody's been getting better. They've been improving. I'm not going to take the thermometer. I'm not going to take the Tylenol. I brought nothing smart with me. So on the way out of town, when things were degrading, my lovely sister supplied me with wet wipes, saline spray, and one of those portable toilets for your car.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we only had.
You don't want to be on a road trip in between rest stops and not have a potty.
Yeah, there were a couple of times where someone would say they had to go, and I would just be like, "You're waiting," but I'd kind of forgotten we had the toilet.
I brought a thermometer and ibuprofen with me, knowing how susceptible Ari is to fevers and ear infections. And the day that we signed out of the hotel, they have this new service at our hotel that's actually an old service they used to offer to every hotel, where you can check your luggage and they'll take it to the airport for you. So that morning, I packed it all up, locked it up,
Hmm.
checked it in with the baggage people. And so by the time she had a
Hmm.
fever, I didn't have access to any of my stuff. But luckily, the hotel gift shop sold Tylenol, at least children's Tylenol. So we just went with that. But I don't know what it is
Yeah.
about my body and Ari's body, but we respond so much better to ibuprofen than Tylenol for everything, for headaches,
Hmm.
for fevers. I don't understand it. I don't understand enough about how the two interact differently, but whatever it is, we're much better with ibuprofen.
Yeah, and I know a little bit like Tylenol's an NSAID, so it blocks the receptors. So it's almost like it's kind of like the same way that like caffeine will block receptors and make you think you're not tired all of a sudden. This Tylenol is
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, no, you don't have a headache, even though you still technically do, or oh, you're not running a fever, even though you still really are. Um, and all I know about ibuprofen is that it helps with inflammation. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
how, but
anti-inflammatory.
that's probably, yeah. So like maybe yours is more of an inflammatory nature or something. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, I should probably try the anti-inflammatory diet, but who wants to do that?
It's hard to diet. I made snickerdoodle cookies tonight.
Ooh, this is my
Um,
peppermint bark marshmallow from the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party.
yeah, mine didn't last that long. I tried to keep one
We
of
really
each
didn't eat
thing that
any
we
of our
had that
stuff.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't eat it that night. And I was gonna bring it all the way home and make like a video of trying it, but then I snacked on it on the drive home. So,
Well, see, I had the added bonus of when we got back to the room, I had that popcorn bucket I had brought for refills, which I never used.
mm,
And it's like hard plastic, and I just stacked all the cookies up in it and put the lid on and packed in the suitcase.
nice.
So it turned out to be useful
Yeah.
after all, even though I didn't get any popcorn refills. After I met Rachel Riley, I went to another
Oh
cookie stop at the
yeah.
Christmas party, and they gave me like 5 or 6 cookies at the stop without me even asking. They were just like, "Here,
Yes, we were
take a bunch of
we were
cookies."
getting on Peter Pan at the Christmas party, and Rachel Riley
Mm-hmm.
was getting off of it. But it was like,
I elbowed him in, and I was like, "Is that? Am I seeing things?
yeah.
Is that Rachel Riley?" But she was with a kid, and I didn't.
And what
You
do
know, she's
you
only
you would
had the
have
kids in
had to
like
like
that one small
yell.
segment, and I was like, "Is
Yeah.
that her?" Because I don't remember her kid looking like that, but not that I would recognize her children. So, but then behind her was Brendan and a little girl, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
"It is them." But
And we
yeah,
thought
we
we
were in
had
line to
had
get on, and
we thought we had
we
had
weren't
a
going to be
missed
like,
connection.
"Rachel."
Right. But then Nikki ran into her later.
Yeah, Ari and I split from everybody to stay a little bit later and do one more ride. And we went to the Tomorrowland Speedway where you drive the go karts.
Hmm.
And you get in line, you kind of like walk up these stairs and over this bridge and then downstairs. So we walk up the stairs and we're on the bridge, kind of waiting for the line to move. And I turn around, and who's right next to me on the bridge? Rachel Riley. And I was like, okay, well, now I have to say something because she's like right next to me and we're stuck there
Right.
for like 10 minutes anyway. So I
Right after I choose
said
to
something
go back
like,
to the hotel.
right? I said something like, I don't mean to bother you. And I know you're here celebrating Christmas with your kid, but I just want to say I watch you on TV. And I think I said, I watch you on TV and I'm a big fan, even though, let's be real, if you've watched any of our recaps, I'm not a big Rachel fan. I guess I'm a fan of like loving to hate, like she's the reality
Yeah.
villain, you know. But I
Nikki sent
love
us the
watching the
selfie,
TV she creates. And she's like,
and I
"Oh, let's
said,
take a selfie." And I said, "I
Nikki
made
sent the
somebody
picture, and I
famous."
said, did you tell her that I hate her?
Nikki doesn't have the balls to tell anyone to their face ever that she hates them.
The only
What
other
is
flu
this?
tips I have are hot tea, honey. If you have a really bad cough, pineapple juice works great.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about it. Just curl up with a blanket and try to sleep through it as much as you can.
Get rest, drink fluids.
Hmm.
Don't be afraid to
All
ask
right.
for
Well,
help.
yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Um, as always, you can find us on all the socials as Working Moms Wine. And I did record a lot of things while we were at Disney. I thought it might be fun to also compare and contrast, like staying at Art of Animation versus the Wilderness Resort where we stayed this last time. Spoiler alert, if you like having an extra bathroom and a private place for mommy and daddy to sleep, go to Art of Animation. But full review
Go
coming,
to Art of
hopefully.
Animation.
But we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.